Oh, that last direct was certainly something, huh? What's up, guys? I am back to talk to you about Kirby Air Riders. I already know that I said that Sonic Cross Worlds is a lot better than Mario Kart, and that might be the best kart racer 2025, but I didn't really consider Kirby Air Riders. I mean, I think it's going to be an amazing game alone because of City Trial, but the main reason why I didn't consider it is because most people I know happen to just play Kirby Air Ride for the City Trial. And who knows, that actually might be the case here, but this game just has so much effort put into it. I just have to talk about it. Well, I'm not going to sit here and talk about everything. I'm just going to talk about the things that I'm personally excited about and some other things that I think are worth mentioning. But before I start, I want to apologize for the lack of trailer footage in this video. I don't want my channel to be struck down by Nintendo so soon, so you guys can have this Kirby Air Ride footage instead. So first of all, I'm going to talk about Top Ride, which is this neat racing mode where you race from a bird's eye perspective. I think I must have played this once when I played Kirby Air Ride, and that's about it. I didn't think this game mode was going to come back in any way, shape, or form considering how much content is already in Kirby Air Riders to begin with. But the fact that Sakurai did it anyway is just absolutely insane. And not only did he add it back, but the fact that you can use any character and any star, and that you can use the two control schemes that were in Kirby Air Riders, on top of the fact that you can have the camera be a bird's eye perspective, or have it zoom into your character, and you can play with 8 players at one time, is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that you can also play this online. Like, Sakurai didn't have to do any of this, but I can really feel like he really wants to top himself from the last game that he made. And that's just going to be a common theme throughout this entire video because he's trying his best to cram everything he can into this game. You see this Mario Kart world? This is how you make a sequel. Alright, next I'm going to talk about Road Trip, which seems like a fun roguelike mode he added in. One of my favorite game genres as of recent has been roguelikes. I love them to death. I cannot stop playing them for the life of me. So this looks right up my alley, and I think this is some pretty substantial content if you're playing alone. I feel like most of this game's community is going to play online anyway, but I always feel like single player content in these games are really important. And it seems like this mode can go on for a while considering the fact that you have stages that you go through. And I am also under the assumption that Road Trip is the main story mode of the game. And speaking of the story, I absolutely love what Sakurai has planned here. So basically the story has the air rides, these machines come out of the sky, but they're unable to move on their own. But if someone touches them and shares their will, then they will be able to move again. And those who ride on top of these vehicles are called riders. It's a very simple story premise, but I absolutely love premises like this. You know, it's the main reason why I like stuff like Pokemon and Metabots and etc. Even though that this is significantly different because these riders are partnering up with inanimate objects. I just think there can be a lot of cute and funny moments with this. Just imagine there's a Kirby character who just wants to sit down and eat, so they hop atop a rock, but it turns out the rock was actually a machine. They end up giving that machine life and they end up speeding off and they're just like, whoa, it's too fast, it's so fast. And then they learn how to control the vehicle and it's just like, huh, you know, I can control this in a lot of different ways. I know that's a very silly concept, but that's the stuff I like personally. Alright, so now I have to talk about the characters and the courses, because oh my god. I absolutely love the fact that they're adding Rick, Lololo, Lalala, Marks, Taranza, and many other characters to the game. And I'm extremely happy for my boy Rick. But I almost kind of wonder, are they going to add the other animal buddies to the game? Are they going to add Koo and Kine? Or maybe they'll add in Choo Choo, Nago, Pitch as well? It would be so awesome if we could see all the animal buddies in the game. I think there are some characters that haven't been announced yet, but I think it's most definitely a possibility. With all that aside, I'm just very glad that Sakurai is putting both classic Kirby characters and modern Kirby characters into the game. As I don't know if it's just me personally, but I've always felt that Sakurai only cared about the characters that showed up in his games, which it's totally understandable. But when you're making Smash Brothers and you have barely any references to the modern era of your franchise, it's just kind of strange. I'm not going to say too much about the tracks because I think they look fine for the most part, but I absolutely adore the fact that not only did he bother adding more tracks in the Kirby Air Riders, but he also decided to add all the tracks from Kirby Air Ride as a bonus. Like, what? Seriously? Yeah, Sakurai looked at this game and he was like, yeah, if I'm going to make a sequel, I'm going to do it right. Now I'm going to talk about all the little things that don't really affect me, but things I still really like anyway. Like the fact that you earn little gummy versions of the machines every time you take part in a race. and you can mess around with them in gummy mode. The gummy mode just seems like a mode where you just go and screw around for a few minutes, but I'm totally fine with modes like this. When I first got Smash Brothers a long time ago, I used to spend a lot of time in the coin launcher mode, which is basically a mode where you can launch your coins that you earn in game and get trophies and stickers and whatnot by shooting ships and other entities, of course. You can boil it down to a mode where you just boot up to mess around, but not only is it a fun way to mess around for a little while, it also really shows that Sakurai really enjoys creating this game and he wanted to just, mess around and see what he can put in for a little bit. And the accessibility options, whew, that's on an entirely different level. I do not get motion sickness that often, and nor am I colorblind. But the fact that he added this in just tells me that he wants everybody and anybody to play this game. And that is something I have a huge amount of respect for. Alright, there's one more thing I want to get off my chest, is the fact that Sakurai said that there will be no DLC in this game. Now you're probably asking me, well, why is this a huge deal? And honestly, it's because I'm just so sick and tired of games having DLC nowadays. I mean, just think about it for a minute. Before 2005, when games were released, they had all the content in it from the get-go. There were no patches and there was no DLC at all. And if a game was just bad, it was just bad. This is probably best suited for another video, but to cut it short, I feel like having no DLC in a game is such a breath of fresh air. And like I said before, it feels like Kirby Air Riders has a lot of content already. Let's hope I'm not wrong as soon as the game comes out. Truthfully and honestly, the only real concerns I have with Kirby Air Riders is the online mode, because most Nintendo online modes are kinda not that great. And Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a great example of what I'm talking about, like the fact that you can't switch your character in ranked mode unless you go all the way back out to the character select menu, which means if you run a match back with somebody, you're gonna have to stay as the same character, and the fact that you can only start up one match at a time when you're in a lobby. Just to mark off a few issues with Smash Ultimate's online system. And the only other concern I have about this game are the amiibo, because holy cow, $50. I know these things are optional, and I know that these things are more expensive because you can swap riders and machines, but I have a strong feeling that they're just going to make amiibo of every character and every machine, and if they do, then man, things are just going to get pricey for the collectors. But to answer the title, do I think Kirby Air Riders has the potential to be the best kart racer of 2025? And I say, yes, it does have the potential to beat out Sonic Cross Worlds, but we'll only know when the game comes out. But if you guys have any opinions on Kirby Air Riders and if you'll be buying it or not, please let me know in the comments. I would absolutely love to hear what you have to say. Now, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to play some more Kirby Air Ride while I wait an entire month for Kirby Air Riders to come out. I'll see ya.